Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Roush, and welcome to week 4 of the Pokemon Speedruns Draft League. This is going to be my team builder. Week 5, here we go. As you can see, here are the standings this week. We already have one match that happened, and that was Eternal War versus Amoeba. And Amoeba came out with his first victory. Looking at the standings, we do still have an undefeated team going into this week, and that is Garfield the Lightning with that 11 differential, plus 11. Then we have the Blackpool Blastoise with a plus 11 differential, but 3 wins to 1 loss. And I fell from first down to third with my loss last week. And of course, Draws and Garf's wins. And this week we're actually facing off against the 4th place Myzlstyx and the New England Braviary. So after taking a look at those, let's go ahead and jump into Myzl's team. So this is what I am staring at for this week. It is a very difficult team to prep for. Mainly for one Pokemon, and it is down there near the bottom of the list. So we have a Serperior, Azelf, Tentacruel, Lycanroc, Shuckle, Xatu, Mega Altaria, Salamence, Celebi, Ditto, and Silvally. Serperior is a very fast Mon, base 113 speed, got really nice defenses, 95 on each side, but for the most part, it's known for either being a sub-seeder, but the crux of most Serperior sets involve Leaf Storm and the contrary ability. So what that'll do is every time Serperior loses a stat, it'll gain a stat. Every time it gains a stat, it loses a stat. So it essentially swaps boosts. So instead of Leaf Storm granting it a -2 special attack, it'll get a +2. So Serperior is very threatening as a kind of a water-falling wall breaker, or a water-falling sweeper if it's got maybe a Choice Scarf or all of its counters are gone. Either that or as a sub-seeder. That's another set Serperiors like to run. Azelf are very useful leads and wall breakers thanks to their very diverse physical and special move pools and the 125 base attack and special attack, as well as a very, very nice 115 base speed. It speed ties with my Raikou. Let's see, Tentacruel is a very interesting Mon. It doesn't have a lot of offensive potential, but it works very well as a support Pokemon. It gets access to Rapid Spin and Toxic Spikes, which are very important versus my team, because although I do have the Beedrill that can clear Toxic Spikes, most of my Pokemon don't want to get poisoned. So that was something that I had to keep in mind for this week. Lycanroc Dusk form, that is the newest form, the orange one, is a very nice either sweeper or a wall breaker with access to, of course, being one of the Z Crystal holders, it can get access to Z Stone Edge. It gets stuff like Brick Break. I want to say it gets Crunch, Drill Run. I already said Stone Edge. A very beautiful priority move in the form of a Celorock. I think it also gets access to Sucker Punch, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something that I'm going to need to be wary of with my team, even though a Celorock is definitely more threatening. It gets Shuckle, which is, again, another nice support Pokemon alongside Tentacruel. It gets access to Sticky Web. So having a Rapid Spinner on the team kind of prevents Myzl from having to defog with something like Xatu, which Xatu is another very useful support Pokemon. It's a good pivot. It gets the Magic Bounce ability, so any status or non-attacking moves get bounced back to the opponent, like Stealth Rocks. So Myzl doesn't even have to bring Stealth Rocks, although Azelf does get access to them, but Xatu can set hazards for him as well, should he choose to bring it in. I kind of could see it. I could see any of these team members coming, to be honest. Mega Altaria is a very nice tank. Gets access to stuff like Roost and Heal Bell for longevity purposes. It gets Dragon Dance. It can be physical. It can be special. 110 in either attack or special attack is very useful, especially with that Pixelate ability. Getting access to normal type moves becoming very stab moves. And then stuff like Draco Meteor, Outrage, Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Fire Blast for coverage. It's really threatening, and I feel like I'm built well to deal with Mega Altaria. Salamence is another threat. It's got a base 135 attack stat, gets that Intimidate ability or the Moxie ability, but I kind of see Intimidate coming just kind of as a Beedrill counter, because Salamence is the best Pokemon on his team, besides maybe Shuckle, to take on Beedrill's offenses. Base 110 special attack is nothing to cry at either. Access to stuff like Fire Blast and Draco Meteor make it very potent on either the physical or special side. Celebi is a very useful support Pokemon as well, but also a nice sweeper or a wall breaker type because it gets access to both Swords Dance and Nasty Plot alongside Baton Pass, and you can't forget about Baton Pass. It's a very, very useful move. It gets access to stuff like U-Turn, Thunder Wave, Stealth Rocks. I don't think it gets Defog, but it does get good pivot options and good breaker type options. Ditto is perhaps the scariest Pokemon on Myzlstyx's entire team. Even though it's in the draft format, it's not a valued pick, but it is a very, very scary Pokemon to prepare for. Mainly because instead of having to deal with just 10 other Pokemon, you do have to prep for 16 different Pokemon. So not only do you have to prepare for your opponent's entire team, but you also have to prepare for not losing to your own team either. Ditto is very scary in that regard, especially because Myzl has used it extremely well in the early going. It's something that I'm not happy that I have to face. And then, of course, Silvally is another one of those kind of wild card types. Silvally can be a useful special attacker, physical attacker. It does get access to Swords Dance, U-Turn. Multi-attack can be whatever type Silvally is. And honestly, that's what makes Silvally so scary, is with that, with the Arceus system and whatever memory it holds, it could be whatever type suits the matchup. So Pokemon that I see Myzl bringing versus me, I can definitely see something like the Azelf. I could even see it being Choice Scarfed or Focus Sashed. It's got to be able to deal with my Beedrill. So I feel like he'd bring either a Scarf Azelf or maybe even a surprise Scarf Celebi alongside a Scarf Ditto, because he's brought multiple Scarfers, I think twice so far in this season. I feel like he brought one. He definitely brought one week 3 and week 4. Did he bring one week 3? He definitely brought it week 4. So either a Scarf Azelf or a Scarf Celebi. I see Ditto being brought. I can see Salamence being brought. I can see Mega Altaria being brought. Maybe as a way of weakening my... I want to say he's going to bring it for the Fortress, so I kind of see a special attacking set coming in. I could see Tentacruel, Lycanroc. Shuckle would be very nice because Sticky Webs do kind of limit what my team can do. So Shuckle getting up Sticky Webs is something that I need to be very careful of. And I do have a couple of lead type options on my team should Shuckle be brought. But I definitely see Lycanroc because it's his best way of revenge killing Beedrill. So I'm thinking either Scarfed Azelf or Celebi, just something that can kill Mega Beedrill straight off the bat. I can see Lead Shuckle, I can see Lycanroc, I can see Salamence, Mega Altaria, and Ditto. Although any of the other options, again, can be brought. Just a very, very scary team to build for. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm bringing this week. So the first Pokemon that I am taking is going to be Mamoswine. Choice Scarf this week. No, this is not in response to last week. This is actually something that I built. Mamoswine, I decided it was going to be Choice Scarf before last week and the whole Volcanion fiasco. But Mamoswine is not my lead. 0% my lead. Icicle Crash, Knockoff, Ice Shard, and Earthquake. Icicle Crash, obviously there to deal the most damage to Altaria. Ice Shard is there to help revenge kill Salamence if it's not bulky when it KOs from full. Earthquake, and for nice coverage for everything that's not flying, and knock off to knock off any items if I feel are necessary. Like say I want to just make a safe play on a switch. A knockoff is a very nice option there. I need enough speed to at least speed tie Mega Altaria, so if it's at a +1 Dragon Dance, I do speed tie. And Icicle Crash does a metric ton of damage. I want to say it does 80%, something like that, to a fully offensive variant of Dragon Dance Mega Altaria. So Mamoswine is going to be very useful in that respect for revenge killing the dragons, revenge killing some of the grass types as well, if he's not a Choice Scarf Superior. But Ice Shard is very useful if I want to revenge kill that. I think it does, I want to say about 50% to Superior. That thing is stupid bulky, like you wouldn't know. Next Pokemon I'm bringing this week is going to be Toby, the Arcanine Shuckaberry this week. This is a very interesting set. It is kind of a specially defensive set with a little bit of physical bulk there in the middle. Iron Head, Flare Blitz, Morning Sun, and Extreme Speed. This moveset does not lose to itself. And in fact, this moveset, if you take a look, is, well, you can't really tell, but there's a couple of Pokemon on my team that can actually wall this Arcanine. This also performs a decent check if Myzl wants to copy Mamoswine. So Iron Head helps deal with that. The Intimidate ability and the Shuckaberry kind of help balance out that. It also helps deal with Mega Altaria. If it's a physical Dragon Dance set, I can tank an Earthquake and go for an Iron Head, get some decent damage off. Flare Blitz is there because it does tremendous damage to all the grass types on Myzl's team. Morning Sun is there for the recovery. Extreme Speed is there for revenge potential. Like if, I don't know, let's pretend something else starts getting out of hand, like Salamence, but it's in range of Extreme Speed. I think Mamoswine -1 Ice Shard plus Arcanine Extreme Speed at neutral kills off Salamence, so it does help deal with Salamence. This also kind of deals with a special attacking Azelf with the Flare Blitz Morning Sun combo, or Flare Blitz Extreme Speed combo. Helps take down a Focus Sash variant. I want to say the two of them only do about 95% though. I'd have to do the calcs before we get into the match. Next Pokemon I'm going to bring is the Wickerman this week. Whoops. There we go. U-Turn, Toxic Spikes, Poison Jab, and Drill Run. Toxic Spikes are very, very nice to have on my side of the field if I can get them. They're not going to be a priority, but at the same time, it is nice bait for Ditto. Ditto, the only way Ditto beats this Beedrill if it goes for Drill Run. And I do have a very nice switch in to Beedrill, especially if he knocks himself into Drill Run. Also, the Mamoswine can revenge kill this Pokemon overall. So it's very nice to have. The speed is designed to actually outspeed both my own Mamoswine and a +1 Mega Altaria. So the max that they can get is 426. Yes, 426 is the maximum that a base 80 Pokemon can hit at +1 speed, which Mega Beedrill actually outspeeds. Surprise, surprise, it gets 427 speed with a max investment with a Jolly Nature. So it's very useful in that regard. U-Turn and Poison Jab are obviously the stabs of choice. Toxic Spikes is there for a little bit of support and also kind of to drag out the Tentacruel. And of course, Drill Run deals with that extremely well, especially because it resists both my U-Turn and Poison Jab. So Beedrill gets very nice coverage, not only versus my, versus Myzlstyx's team, but not good enough coverage that it is able to ruin my team, especially with a little bit of prediction and a little bit of good play. And like Toby is a very nice check to that. Next Pokemon I'm going to bring is going to be the Raikou. Ein, Sub-Calm Mind once again, Hidden Power Ice, and Thunderbolt. Now, I was debating putting Signal Beam on this, but then I figured out, oh well, Hidden Power Ice is so much better, because then now all of a sudden Mamoswine completely walls out my own Raikou. Substitute also breaks Imposter, and Ice and Thunderbolt deal neutral damage to every single Pokemon on Miz's team. Hidden Power Ice doesn't do as much to some, but most of which resists Ice is hit either super effective or neutral from Thunderbolt. Getting up a substitute and then going for Calm Minds is very nice versus his team. I am a Leftovers variant this week. I do want a little bit more survivability, especially if I get into a stall war with a Shuckle. I want to be able to survive as long as possible, maybe stall it out of Encores, something like that. And it's going to be really useful. So that is Raikou this week, designed to kind of be a cleaner at the end, but can also be a mid-game kind of wall breaker type. As I mentioned before, the only Pokemon on his team that can outspeed my Raikou is either a Choice Scarf Pokemon or a Speed Tie with the Azelf. So Raikou is a very nice matchup this week, and the extra bulk is going into special defense just for that extra bit of survivability, because I am scared more of those special attackers versus Raikou, because that's what I'm going to be setting up on the majority of the time. Next Pokemon that I'm bringing is, once again, the Pretty Petal Flower Shop. Defog Aromatherapy Synthesis Moonblast. This is a completely different type of physically defensive Florges that I have brought from the entire set. Defog is there because this is my only form of good hazard removal this week, and I desperately need to keep stuff like Stealth Rocks off the field for Toby and, of course, the Wickerman. Aromatherapy is there just in case Toxic Spikes get up on the field or any of my Pokemon get burned, like pretend Mamoswine gets randomly Scald burned while trying to kill off Tentacruel. I can get that Aromatherapy off and get my entire team healed, defog away the Toxic Spikes so that my team doesn't get destroyed by them. Synthesis for instant recovery. I don't really need Wish this week because either all of my attackers are equipped with their own way of healing or don't need that kind of longevity, such as in the case of Wickerman and Mamajam. But Florges can keep them alive by keeping Toxic Spikes, Sticky Webs off the field with Defog. So that's the kind of role that Florges is playing this week, and is most definitely not going to be my lead, no matter what is on his team. But also, Florges does not deal with Beedrill well. I think it dies to a Poison Jab. So if Ditto copies Florges, Beedrill is a revenge option. Last Pokemon I have this week, kind of an interesting set. Once again, it's you. So another time that I bring both you and Pretty Petal. You're my Stealth Rock setter this week. Stealth Rock's Toxic, Ice Punch, and Earthquake. I know I have Toxic Spikes, but I want this extra Toxic option with Swampert because I really desperately need Shuckle chipped away at. If he has Rest, cool. You deals with it relatively well. It gets that Lumberry just in case, say, Tentacruel burns me. I want to be able to KO with Earthquake, and my best option is not getting burned. So, making sure that I have that ability to clear the burn instantly in case it happens to take Tentacruel off the field, because it is a huge threat to a good portion of my team, especially if it's got the right tech. Stealth Rocks is there, obviously, to get up. It's not as big of a priority this week, but it would be nice to have them. Say, I lead with Swampert, and Azelf ends up being a lead. I can go for either Toxic to break a Focus Sash, or to find out what set he is, because I do have a great amount of bulk, even though Grass Knot is an option on there, do not forget. Or I can set up the Stealth Rocks and force whatever is carrying Defog to Defog or Rapid Spin. Ice Punch is there because it deals the most damage to Mega Altaria as well as Salamence. In fact, I one-hit KO a regular Altaria after Stealth Rock, so Altaria is actually not a switch-in to Swampert. Something to keep in mind. And Earthquake just deals with most of the other members of the team. Ice Punch also deals with something like a Superior on the switch. So if Superior wants to switch into Swampert, I can go ahead and just Ice Punch it for some good damage and then switch on out into either Toby or Pretty Petal. So yeah, that's gonna be my team for this week. A lot of thought had to go into this because once again, I cannot afford to lose to both, or to either myself or to Mrs. team because of that Ditto. I feel like we got a very, very nice squad, very adept at dealing with everything on his team. So hopefully it's a good match for us. I can see Beedrill doing some work. I can see everybody putting in some work. So yeah, match is gonna go up tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Yeah, goodbye guys.